something like this.
What's good, family? Welcome to another episode of An Honest Conversation about hip-hop. I'm your host, D. Moraney, a.k.a. Hip-Hop Old Head, a.k.a. Hip-Hop's Uncle Phil. And as always, tonight I have with me the one and only.
It's your boy, son Kapone, the greatest rapper never known, a.k.a. Mr. Friday Night Hype, which it's a slow Friday night for your boy. We over here chilling.
Man, so no action.
No action. We out of commission today.
Damn. You're like Antonio Brown and his frozen feet, no helmet.
Yeah, we peeling at the bottom of the feet, and I'm trying to get my 1984 helmet back. You know?
Well, shit. And so, man, my left, the one and only
Big Poh, a.k.a. The Stroke, a.k.a. Bitch Back Up.
A.k.a. Bitch Back Up.
Bitch Back Up.
Okay. I'm going to have to ask you, even though I don't want to, I'm going to have to ask you what that means.
Explain, man.
Explain that one. Is that a leverage situation is what you're talking about?
No, it ain't got nothing to do with no sex. It ain't a sexual reference.
Okay.
It's, bitch, give me my space.
Okay, so this is, state of mind thing. Yeah. I feel you. Sometimes not. Sometimes you need space. Personal space is very important. You definitely need that.
Is it crowding season, Pooh?
Well, I mean, if I remember, it's been a long time since I've been out there, but cuffing season is coming back around, right? Because after summer winds down, normally when cuffing season cracks, you know, people want gifts, and you know they got company functions to kind of go to.
You got a cuffer.
It gets a little colder when it's cold outside.
You got a cuffer working on extra credit right now, trying to get started in August.
Now, this is the first time ever where, as a single man, I have to go on my Facebook and edit, the privacy settings when I post shit, so certain people can't see it.
So you just don't want to set off
alarm with
Richter scales,
exactly.
When it comes to the pimping.
Yeah, like today, for instance, a chick who I've known for a while.
I hope that chick ain't tuning in.
She was like,
"Hey,
nigga, you don't need no pussy. You getting it? You got bitches cooking you breakfast and all kind of shit."
I saw that. Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, damn, I forgot to edit her out of that shit too.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Damn. So, I mean, is it too much drama just to be on the up and up and be like, look, it is what it is? And
well, you know how that shit go. All women, I ain't gonna say all, but majority women, they say they down to be homie lover friends, but then once you touch a spot that the baby daddy couldn't touch.
Wow. Touching spots.
You know what I mean? You know, we all men, we all have the same anatomy, but we all ain't built the same.
Yeah, well, that's very true.
Or a nigga could be hung like a stallion, but the nigga limp as a top ramen
noodle, huh?
Left in the water soaking for 15 minutes.
Damn. Ooh. Put that ramen in the microwave for 4 minutes, a little too long. Got that limp noodle. Wow. So that's how do we segue from the limp noodles cats out there?
Up, bitch.
Bitch back up.
And all the editing and shit.
You out there hitting them with the stiff arm, the Heisman, huh?
Hey.
Ghetto Heisman. Shout out to Dub C on that one. So as always, Monday morning, if you're listening, hopefully you're listening via Big Bad Radio. Go to bigbadradio.com. Make sure you go ahead and download the app. Check out An Honest Conversation about hip hop every Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. So really quick, gentlemen, before we get into the topics we're going to discuss, I wanted to just kind of touch on some things that just kind of went down. We had talked about De La Soul and their fight with Tommy Boy a while ago on a solo dolo. I think it was you and I, Simon. And we're talking about the man with the golden touch. Jay-Z was supposed to be helping, he said, I'm not streaming the music, and was going to help them try to, work something out with Tommy Boy. Well, today, De La posted on the Instagram page that they were no longer negotiating with Tommy Boy. For those that don't know, Tommy Boy's owned their music for 30 years. 6 of I think they have 9 studio albums that have been out, so 6 of them, probably 3 borderline classics are owned by Tommy Boy, and they were trying to get negotiations. They were trying to get the music put up on streaming services because it's not available anywhere, the old original 6 albums. But unfortunately, Tommy Boy, due to saying that they owe $2 million in unpaid royalties to the samples that are used on these albums, was only going to offer them a 10% split So Tommy's keeping 90. De La, which is 3 members, is getting 10%. And again, I don't know where the rest, because you still got to pay people who produced on the album. You still got to settle those samples. So I'm not sure how that was working out. So De La says, unfortunately, we're going to stop trying to put our music online, and we'll see what happens in the future. So I'm going to start with you, Pooh. Thoughts on that situation in general?
That's rough. I mean, 10% split between 3 members. I mean, shit. You wouldn't even think that De La Soul would generate like a lot of revenue. Let's just say in a year's time, their 10% was $100,000. So we're gonna split that down to 33 and a third. You know what I mean? You can go fucking work at Amazon and get that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know it's passive income because it's just money that comes in, but still, it's like, I don't know, man. It's like it makes you wonder, like, how these cats were signing their life away way back when. But I guess, it was harder back then, so you just signed those contracts. It's sad though, you know what I mean, that that type of shit happens. And with this online streaming shit, it kind of messed everybody up now. It's like it kind of takes the money away from the power from the artists, because for instance, when I bought my car, I really wasn't paying attention, and then once I pulled off the lot, I looked and noticed there's no CD player, because it's an old technology now. Like, the only way you can play music in my car is basically streaming it or through Bluetooth. So then what? They selling shit out the trunk of a car? You can't really do that anymore. What, you can sell, memory sticks? It's just
right.
It's just hard now. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's kind of rough.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, what was the Tribe? Industry rule number 4080. Record company people are shady. You know what I mean? To not have the rights to your music for that long period of time, like. We came up hearing stories of how people in the Motown days got done and stuff like that. And you would think that would never happen again. But this is that classic example, And now Tribe De La's not hurting for money because they're overseas and they're doing it big over there. So, and they're dropping now new music. I can't remember the name of the label at the time, but, they've dropped a couple solid records. Happy People's one of my favorite songs. That they've of their whole discography. So let me ask you, Simon, what are your thoughts in regards to being an artist yourself? Like, what comes to your mind when you hear these stories?
It's slave master. You know what I mean? That's basically where Tommy Boy's position is, and you would think that even with slow dough would be better than no dough, but I don't even think this is not about money at all. It's about principle. I mean,
you think that's what it is?
These cats want the rights to their music,
right? Right.
And it's crazy that they're laying the carrot over their head to not give it to them, and especially after owning it so long and not doing anything with it.
Right.
Nobody's profiting from it. It's just sitting in the vault and collecting dust. So
yeah, it's basically just collecting radio spins at this point, where they have a catalog where you couldn't, and I hate to, I'm firmly against this. I've said this on other shows, but De La has a catalog where you can mainstream that pretty quickly. Especially now where businesses want to attach themselves to hip hop and they want it to have that retro kind of, hippie hipster type sound, something that's not too offensive for, everybody in general. And, De La had roller skate, you know what I mean? That De La had a lot of joints that would definitely, be marketable. And I think that's what's fucked up. It's because, one, they can't get their legacy, exposed to the people who are consuming music right now. And like as Pooh said, that's the internet. And, and then two, they can't even get it out to the markets. They can't get it to the people who can help grow their brand and make them more of a group that we talk about and that we, get the opportunities to be out performing and shit like that. They don't even really do that here in the States. Can't remember the last time I saw a De La, concert.
You see a lot of them because, in the States, a lot of the veterans, they do these, smaller venues and things of that nature and keeping their, legacies alive. But now you're right, man. I mean, it just being in the industry and everything and see who comes out here to Southern California, which we pretty much get everybody. I've never seen De La come out.
Never.
Not on a venue, not on a bill.
I haven't seen that in shit. I don't want to say I think I've ever seen performing De La Soul.
I think I've seen them before, but it's normally like on the the festival type orange show.
Type shit. So okay, maybe the old school, the shit that
they squeeze them in.
Yeah, the shit that Murs used to do. I forget what the name of that was. Escapes me. So speaking of, that's a perfect segue, Pooh. So speaking of a festival tour type of shit, the Loud 25th anniversary is coming up. They're doing one show, I think somewhere in like Pennsylvania or some bullshit like that. No disrespect to anybody in Pennsylvania, but
Big Bad Radio.
Big Bad Radio, right? But this is a show that I would pay money for. So I'm asking you guys, would you see this show? Wu-Tang, 3 6 Mafia, a Big Pun tribute featuring Fat Joe and Remy Ma, Mobb Deep with special guests, Exhibit, Alcoholics, M.O.P., Dead Prez, Pete Rock, and more special guests.
Yeah, I fuck with that.
Yeah, old heads. If you don't support this show, whatever little city it's at, wherever it's at, and I say little because we're here in California on some cocky shit, no disrespect, but wherever you're at, if you don't sell this venue out for this fucking lineup, if this was a tour, I would definitely buy tickets to go ahead and see that. I'd be interested to see how you're gonna pull off the Big Pun tribute. If you don't have Chris Rivers involved, fuck you Pun, fuck you Remy, off top. The mob thing's gonna get a little tricky, because I've always had an affinity to Prodigy over Havoc, so I don't know how that would roll for me. You know what I mean? Like, who is going to be doing those parts to those songs? And
probably has a crowd.
I've seen shit where what's his name has been on tour, because early he was on tracks with him and he knows all the verses. I've been seeing Noid doing shit.
So Noid is doing it.
I've been seeing Noid doing Prodigy parts.
Yeah, I just don't know. You know what I mean?
A mixture, like they both do it.
Yeah,
Noid is there too.
Yeah. Maybe
I mean, honestly, when you think Mobb Deep, what's the first thing you think?
The Prodigy. Yeah. So that would be a little tricky for me. Dead Prez, one of the best performances I've ever seen. I definitely want to see him again. Pete Rock. I mean, Pete Rock's set probably gonna be lit because he's gonna be able to bring out everybody who he's fucked with on Loud. So that's gonna be a dope situation. So it is somewhere back east. I don't have the info now, but fuck, if you see this, go Google it. It's called the Loud 25th Tour, and it's happening in October. So if you are a fan of hip hop, Google that, find out where it's going, support, and
treat yourself.
Yeah, treat yourself. So shit, a couple weeks ago we started off with Snoop's new song, and guess what? Now we got another new Snoop song. This one I wanted to talk about because it is Snoop basically dedicating the song to Suge Knight. It's called Bygones, Let Bygones Be Bygones. Forgiving Snoop, or forgiving Suge, and actually shouting him out, thanking him for making him kind of the person that, helping him become the person who he is today. So first, I'm asking you guys your opinion of the songs, and then second, do you think this changes the Suge Knight narrative now that we know for a fact that Orlando Baby Lane, whatever his name is, no R.I.P., Murder Pac, rest in peace, and now we kind of hear a different story from Snoop. You don't really hear people speaking positively on Suge, especially at this point. Got a lot of people who's taking pot shots and shit like that way after the fact. So I'm gonna start with you, Simon. Thoughts on the song, and then the legacy after.
I thought the concept was dope, and I think that's why Snoop is where he's at, is because we've seen Snoop grow from a teenager to where he's at. I mean, I don't know if it was in the song or maybe it was another track. You just talk about he's almost 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was the song.
So I mean, we've seen him grow, and like I said, for him to be mature and understand, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And I don't think without Suge there's no Snoop, and without Snoop there's no Suge or Death Row. I think there's no other rapper that could have came in that situation and blew it up the way that Snoop did at that time. So hey man, he's just paying gratitude, showing growth, and I like the concept of it. You know, I think it's dope.
Now, do you think by Snoop saying what he said and you know, of course, actually releasing the song as well, does that change the narrative? Do we not see Suge as the boogeyman, as the bad guy anymore? You know, the rumors that he killed Pac, okay, not the case. You know, Snoop, who probably was maybe the second most violated, according to the stories that we heard, of course, Dre being first. You know, because this shit got ugly at some point. It's alleged that they had somebody mess with Snoop's wife. You know, shit got real way out. And that was all contributed to him leaving Death Row and that beef. So, big move for Snoop to say, hey, I'm cool with everything, that whatever went down. But does that change the narrative overall?
No, I mean, Suge is overall a bad dude. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that he's done that can't be reversed. You know, and I mean, he's hurt a lot of people and done a lot of cutthroat things. I mean, that cutthroat attitude is what you know, got everything to shoot out the way
that's
that
what catapulted him. Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, I don't feel anything crazy about Suge. I mean, it is what it is. But you know, I mean, people that you know obviously feel a certain way. I mean, they have that right too. So I don't think it changes the feelings or emotion behind. You know, the thoughts about him.
What about you, Pooh? What do you think of the song, man?
I actually like the song. You know, I wasn't expecting it to be some like lyrical shit because that ain't what Snoop is.
Right.
He kind of got straight to the point, so it was more like just listening to what he was saying. So I liked it. It was cool, not whack, not. I felt it. As far as him being a bigger person and forgiving Suge, I respect it because it's true. I mean, because of Death Row and what came of Snoop, even after leaving Death Row, I think they say he's worth $100 million now. You know, he got generational wealth now. Like without Suge, that's not possible. So he can look at it and, you know, best believe they had their rough times, but he can probably also look back. He can't say it in public. They had their great times too. You know what I mean? Right. So he's just looking, you know, taking the bitter with the sweet, and overall, you know what I mean. And then I think as far as forgiving Suge, I mean, the persona with Suge Knight, I think, well, in the streets, they always said that he didn't do it. He got grazed by a bullet. People were saying, well, if he set him up, how'd he get hit with a bullet? So I never really believed that. I think Suge became humanized once he started getting knocked out and getting shot and all that shit. He was the Boogey man when he was like untouchable Suge.
Right, so that barber, barber two-pieced him and it was a wrap.
Yeah, and you know, once he became human and niggas was putting hands on him and he went to jail and was, you know, paying niggas and all that type of shit. It just made him a regular nigga. So I think that kind of humanized him, and everybody kind of. You think of Death Row, you think about the bad shit, but you really didn't look at Suge as like a villain anymore. I think fucking 50 Cent being a bully right now is more hated than Suge in his heyday of doing shit. Right. I think it's kind of out of sight, out of mind at this point.
I agree. I think Sugar's old, and when you look at him, you see an old man.
He went out like a bitch, though. Yeah,
and then you look at the situation, and he did go out that way.
I mean, I ain't never seen a villain, this nigga falling out in court, and it's like, I guess everybody ain't built for jail. Yeah, you know what I mean? I know probably some Suge fans that listen to the show or whatever the case, but I'm just saying, man, if you gonna bully niggas and do all that shit, I didn't flip the script, but I gotta get it out. You done did all this shit, the humanized niggas and all that shit, but then you can't do your time, my nigga. Like you blind, you falling out, having heart attacks and all kind of shit. Like, man, you supposed to man up like motherfucking John Gotti, nigga. Take your time and die in the pen if you have to. But it just show you that was never Marion Suge Knight. He just had that gangster persona, but it really wasn't him.
Yeah, and I think the flip side to that too is I don't know where he would go, where he'd be housed, but there's a lot of animosity towards him as well. You know, the stuff that the media doesn't talk about, the street stuff. I'm sure there's some cats in the pen who are waiting for their opportunity to pay him back. I hope that's not the case.
But he's a celebrity profile, so he's not walking the main line. He's not going to be in the general population.
Well, look at the one dude, Whitey, whatever. They got him. They cut his tongue out.
Cause he ratted. That's like
right, but was.
But you know what? Not to cut you off. I got major respect for Whitey Bulger. You know why? Because he went mainline knowing they was going to kill him. Right. Because he went out with the persona of I'm a gangster and I'm dying as a gangster, and he took Suge went to court and went blind and had heart attacks. That's exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Right. But I mean, I think that plays into why he's doing that, because I do believe that there's probably some heat for him.
Of course, there's heat
in the pen.
They're not going to get to him. He's a high profile case. They're just like Charles Manson. You know what I mean? California, they'll separate.
They'll take care of him. Yeah.
They're not throwing him out.
Do you think it's easier for Snoop to forgive because he's on top? Because he ultimately won? Because I don't hear anybody of the cats that struggled because of what Suge has directly done to them or indirectly done to them. I don't hear any of them making dedication songs or speaking positively on Suge. I mean, he's worth $100 million. He's free. Wife, lovely kids, grandfather. about to be 50, still very relevant in the culture. And then you got Suge Knight, who's locked up probably for the rest of his natural life.
I mean, if you think about it, you don't see any other death row artists saying anything positive about Suge, but you don't hear them saying anything negative either. Back in the day, you did hear shit, but like now,
yeah, Daz used to ride on him. I mean,
that's the one thing that I didn't notice. Suge said, I mean, not Suge. Snoop said in the track about not kicking a man when he's down, but his cousin was disrespecting him as soon as he got the time and shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So.
Oh yeah. By the way, fuck Daz. I ain't never said it. Well, I think I might have a long time ago.
Maybe a long time ago.
I know he apologized, but yeah, fuck Daz.
Get it off.
You know what I'm saying?
For those that don't know,
because even the other day, Son Kapone put the Dog Food album as one of his all-time greats on his page, and I agree, it made an impact. I love that album, but it's hard now because I don't fuck with Daz. You know what I mean? Just because he's a whole ass nigga.
So for those that don't know, Daz went on the internet and said some disrespectful shit, and so. He fucked up, I guess.
Just leave it at that. I mean, to keep relationships, niggas in the industry or associate with the industry, they gotta like forgive and forget because it'll fuck the money up on these old school bunk ass tours. But for a nigga who make his living out here in the streets like everybody else, that grinding to get it, that shit don't fucking benefit me at all. So motherfuck that, straight up.
Let me ask you this, because you said these old tours. Hammer, I think like Salt and Pepper and some other people are going to be at the LA County Fair performing this like I Love the 80s or I Love the 90s night. What do you think, what type of bag you think that Hammer and them are getting for those country fair tours?
I don't know. I think it might get like a deep fried Snicker and a funnel cake.
Uh-oh.
No, it might get that nigga about 5 G's. I mean,
he's getting about 5.
Nah, hell no.
He's getting more, son?
No, he's getting more than that.
How much?
Man, he's getting probably at least, I would say, man, we'd probably disrespecting the shit out of him. But I would say he's at least getting like 25 to 50.
No way.
No way.
The fair?
So to put together that show, Hammer's getting 50. How much is Salt and Pepper getting? Hold on, let me find the actual.
Well, Spinderella ain't there, so it's
Spinderella's not there. They got a restraining order. Isn't this some crazy shit? Salt and Pepper got a restraining order against each other.
So they probably get. I'm saying they probably get maybe 10 or 15.
I think you giving them a lot of credit. I just don't see it.
No, because I mean, with the LA Fair, I don't know how big the stage or not the stage.
Well, how many nights? I guess is it a one night?
No, it's a one night.
It's a one night. Hold on,
with them, because.
So let me just tell you this. I'm gonna read. I know we're way off of whatever, but I'm gonna tell you the other people they're bringing in. So they have the OJs on the lineup. They have Pitbull on the lineup. That's what I'm saying.
What do you think? What Pitbull is getting paid?
I would say close to.
He's probably getting it. Man, he's probably getting like 100.
Minimum 300,000. I mean,
minimum.
He's doing one night.
So that knockoff to the 25 to 50 would be realistic for a Hammer.
George Lopez is coming through.
Getting chips.
War.
That's what I'm saying. These cats is getting paid.
Hold on.
Because they're getting money. You're not just thinking of the amphitheater or whatever the fuck they're filling in, but all the attendance.
I think it's the. I think where they perform at is the racetrack.
Yeah.
Santa Anita, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm gonna tell. So it is called Hammer's House Party. September 15th. You got MC Hammer, In Vogue, Biz Markie, and Coolio.
So Salt and Pepper's not a part of it?
Nah, so I misspoke. Salt and Pepper's not. Well, maybe they were, but then the beef killed it. So this is shit. One ticket is going for $44 right now.
That's one ticket.
That's
they might get a little bit.
That's the least amount right there.
Fit probably 5,000 people or some shit like that.
That's crazy. Every nigga on the ticket probably got gout or high blood pressure. And ain't none of and every female on their pussy don't bleed.
Oh damn. I think I'm pulling up poop.
You found it. So I'm gonna be front row at the Hammer House Party. So a front row ticket to the Hammer House Party. Let me ask you, and then we'll get back on track.
With $90 or whatever.
Front row ticket $90. What you say, Pooh?
See, I was thinking that he was gonna be a part of the fucking the fair like on the side stage, but this is actually his name is on the shit.
Oh, Hammer's house party. You go into
$45 ticket.
Yeah,
I would say probably with backstage access and all that, probably about a cool $100.
$165 VIP access backstage. You get to meet everybody or whatever.
You know what? I gotta take that back. I'm thinking of a traditional hip hop show.
Yeah,
but Hammer had crossover crowd.
Yeah,
it's some white boy with hairline like Manu Ginobili that's gonna be watching that shit.
Manu,
we talking. He was hot 30 years ago.
Right.
So everybody in there that's looking at that shit is.
And they have that money.
Yeah.
So they're 40s, 50s, our age, you know, late 30s or whatever. So they have that money. They, you know, and it's summer. They'll make it an event.
I think he may be older because I'll be 40 this year, and when Hammer was popping, I was in 5th grade. Yeah. So imagine.
Yeah, I mean there are definitely older people as well.
Yeah, 88.
Yeah.
It was actually, and that was the second album.
Yeah, so I'm saying 50. So yeah,
we were younger than that.
$165 a ticket to go see Hammer. What do we think about Hammer?
They put me in the mix. Hammer. They put me in the mix.
That's gonna be crazy,
but
man.
You know what? I say a lot of shit to crack jokes, but I actually, you know what, D? You didn't even notice the segue. I fucked with the Death Row Hammer.
Death Row Hammer was for real. Pumps and the bumps, pumps and the bumps. Ill. Yeah, all that we want.
Yeah, that shit's bang. Even
the
remix. It was 2 versions of that shit. Him and Dion and him out there dancing.
Pumps and bumps is hard. I'm telling you that right now.
And there was another one song he had too. I forgot the name of that shit.
It wasn't Funky Headhunter.
What was it? It's All Good. Is that older? Or was that doing
No, that was older because on that Death Row album he came with a lot of G-Funk, and that was Hammer and the khaki, the jean suits.
I heard he got a mob tattoo too. I didn't even know that shit.
Hey, Suge was signing them up. They was ready to go. You know what I mean? You can tell the niggas you roll with whatever you want, but you and I know what's going on. You know what I mean? So, hey, that's how it went down over there. You know, what did Easy say? I heard Sugar's running y'all like boot camp. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You know, no, I got love for Hammer though. It just saying that name off the top of the head, you just think like, damn, how is that gonna make money? But
yeah,
he did sell like millions.
He was like one of the first cats to ever go platinum.
I mean, Hammer's blow up was crazy. I remember him in Turn This Mother Out, which I liked, and he's dancing on the table and shit like that. And I thought he was an East Coast dude. I didn't think he was from Oakland, the Bay, West Coast cat. You know what I mean? And then for him to just take over the industry. I remember seeing him dancing in a Taco Bell commercial. Like the whole commercial was Hammer. You know what I mean? So no one at that time had even got to that point. That's commonplace now, 30-something years later.
I seen him recently. I seen Mr. Fab bring him on stage at the show, and he could still dance like a motherfucker. He
still get down. You know what I mean? He's still with it. And so truly one of hip hop's greats. A tale of when, you know, you try to do too much for your community. You try to you have a big dream, but you just don't have the team that could put around that. You know what I mean? He was someone else who had generational wealth and lost that, squandered it. So definitely a big tale of precaution, you know, and we need, people will laugh, but hip hop needs a Hammer biopic.
Yeah, I fuck with that.
Like, not one of these bullshit ones that they do on BET.
I think it'd throw motherfuckers off because, you know, Hammer's a street dude.
Right,
you know?
To tell that story and also show everything that went down, how he lost all his money, things we were trying to do. I think you definitely need a Hammer biopic called Turn This Mother Out. The MC Hammer story. You know what I mean? And bottom line, I don't know who would pay Hammer. You know, probably, what's the thing you don't like from the Marvel movies? The dude that did that Black Mirror episode.
Shit, I don't even know.
Anthony Mackie.
Oh, that
nigga. Yeah. So, props to Hammer, and I know we segued way the fuck off on that one, so that's my bad.
Get your 25 to 50.
Yeah, right. So, speaking of old shit, about to be new shit again. One of the Hughes brothers, Alan Hughes, has gotten the rights to tell Pac and Afeni's story. It's going to be called Outlaw, and it's coming to FX. It's going to be one of these little documentary series. I think it's 5 or 6 parts. And again, they're going to explore the unique relationship between Afeni and Pac. Supposedly is going to be very heavily based on what Afeni wanted to share in her movie that, I guess Benny Boom or whoever the dude is beat her to putting it out. So start with you on this one, Simon. Is this oversaturation at this point? Like, do we really need another Pac? Do we need another big movie? We were just talking about Hammer. Should we be focusing on other people, or is this something that you need to hear as a Pac fan or just as a hip hop fan? What are your thoughts?
With other or outside opinions, and with people that don't really know the situation other than Afeni or Pac, I don't think it needs to be done. I think we've already got a fictional tale with the All Eyes on Me movie and not seeing the truth.
Even if this is authorized by the estates, the Tupac estate, because they're both
the estate's interest is to get money,
right?
So
right.
Just to get money doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do. And like I said, how are you going to have a documentary on two people that can't vouch for anything that's that can go ahead and honor that
be
that
written, especially especially if it's not like we're showing footage, home videos or something, so it's the words coming out of these people's mouths. And again, they're saying it's a docu-series, so I'm imagining it's going to have to be 100% factual, because it's not an entertainment series, it's not one of these movies, it's supposed to be based on things that truly happen. So Pooh, your thoughts on this?
I think it's oversaturation at this point. Like you said, how can anybody know the relationship between Pac and his mom? Like, were you there? Like, that's like any of us. We don't know how we interact with our mothers, like on a personal level. We know how we act around other people, but like they don't know like when you're vulnerable or she being vulnerable with you. Like,
right.
Who the fuck's giving that information? So, no, at this point, it just seems like they grasping for straws, and then to put it on FX is just, it limits what you can do. I mean, it's a PG network. You know what I mean? I just think it's a waste of time. But motherfuckers they're gonna exploit you. They're gonna, if they can make some money off this shit, they're gonna do it. And then I don't know who's in charge of the estate now. Both people are fucking gone. I just think it's overkill at this point.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it's one of the Hughes brothers. And didn't Pac whoop one of their asses?
Yeah.
So it just, and I don't know if they became friends after, I don't know, but it will be watched, it will be talked about. I'm sure we're going to discuss it at some point, but I agree with you. It is oversaturation at this point. Like, let's focus on others. How many more times can the story be told? People are going to say, well, you were saying the glasses, you thought that was a cool idea. And I did. That's a different thing. We've heard Pac's story. So unless, it's coming from a memoir or something that we can validate was truly the work of Afeni, that's the only way I'm going to fuck with it. If it's interpreted off stories told by other people, I'm cool on it. Definitely cool on it. So someone who is cool on Lil Nas X is Jermaine Dupri. So Jermaine Dupri, I guess Lil Nas X a couple weeks back passed, not I guess, I know, Mariah Carey for the number one, the most number ones in a row, like 15 or something like that. Jermaine Dupri jumps on Twitter and says, "You can't sit with us, Lil Nas X," referring to him not being a real artist, as that Mariah Carey's a real artist or whatever. So in a very short time, Jermaine has dissed the stripper rappers and now is dissing the little internet SoundCloud rap dudes. So is Jermaine hating? Because he did some goofy shit too in his reign. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, shit. He had Lil Nas X, from the mall with Crisscross. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was doing that shit back then, and then not only he did that once, he pulled fucking Bow Wow. You know what I mean? He created this funny business. You know what I mean? So he's the fucking founder of this shit. So he can't.
I'm not only the client, I'm the player president.
If you live in a glass house.
Right. Pooh, what you think, man?
Yeah, I think it's hate. At the end of the day, Jermaine Dupri is irrelevant now. Nigga, you lost Janet. Go sit down somewhere.
Hey, he never should have had a fucking chance with that.
That to me, to this day, I
don't know what the fuck she was going through.
Let's discuss ugly dudes and pretty women. Was there a bigger come up than Jermaine snagging Janet? Was there a bigger come up?
Mark Anthony and J-Lo.
Really? So you think?
Close.
So who's finer, Janet or J-Lo?
If I had my choice, I'd probably go with J-Lo.
Really?
Yeah.
Pooh?
I don't know. In her prime,
Yeah, Pleasure Principle, Janet.
I think Janet was better than J-Lo. Look,
Yeah,
J-Lo had body,
right.
but I think Janet was more like beautiful.
I agree with you. Pleasure Principle. I mean, that's how I found J-Lo, was watching In the Tumbling, that little video. That's how I found who J-Lo was from going to check that. So I forget what that. It's not the Velvet Rope. I forget what album that was.
I think it was on there.
Was that the Velvet Rope?
It had That's the Way Love Goes.
Yeah,
on there.
that is the baddest form of Janet right there. Janet was killing it. Before she went and got a little weirder with Michael, keeping it in the closet, really breaking the windows in space or whatever that crazy shit was. That's vintage Janet. And I'm a big J-Lo fan. J-Lo, definitely one of my top 5 celebrities of all time and whatnot. But Janet is definitely above her on that list. But I don't know. I think that Mark Anthony has a little more swagger than Jermaine Dupri does.
Jermaine Dupri's like what? Can we Google this nigga's height? What is he? 5'3"?
Let's look.
5'2"?
He's 5'2".
Come on, man. Jermaine Dupri?
Jermaine Dupri.
Like, you gotta look at it like this. Before the social media era where you see bad women all day long, where there was no accident, Janet Jackson was like niggas.
She's an icon. Yeah,
crush.
exactly.
She's been bad since the 80s.
She was Beyonce now.
Yeah. I fuck Janet now. She's old. She ain't bleeding either.
Yo, is that like is that a prerequisite? They still got to be menstruating for you to smash? I don't understand.
No, I'm just being funny.
No, I'm fucking with you. So yeah, man, Jermaine came up. So like you said, go sit somewhere, chill, get your Usher confession money. You know, Jermaine got some records out there that still generate a lot of revenue. I think he's went bankrupt like 5 times or some crazy shit. No, it's like 2 or 3 times. But he's bounced back over and over again. You know, like when the feds come for, you know, the you don't have to call money, and you still good. You know what I mean? Like, credit to him, but there's no reason for you to hate, and especially if you're not trying to make the culture better.
He comes from money. What the fuck did his pops do? He was major too, wasn't he?
He was in the industry too. I forget what he did, but yeah. I mean,
I remember when Jermaine was beefing with Dre, and he said, well, I don't know who wrote it for Dre. He said, I got over 80 million records sold, and I had to do it with 11-year-olds. And this real shit. Like, I think he's just hating because that was his lane. Yeah. If he would have had Lil Nas X, he would have been out there Diddy bopping and shit.
Exactly. He'd have been in the country outfit too.
Because Nas X is from Atlanta, right?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But he's so out of touch with the culture though. That's a different lane for him. Like, if he was smart, he'd be tapping in with them. Could you imagine him doing a so-so def mumble rap album? Of course you wouldn't call it that, but he's still got production. And if he could reach out to some of these little cats, do it for the culture, do it for the city, you know what I mean? Like, you know, that would be fire. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy? Speaking of these Hammer Show and all these other little, what'd you say, Loud or Tommy?
Yeah, Loud 25th anniversary.
I think it was only on the Chitlin circuit, but they did a so-so def one. And I mean,
he did.
He had some. He actually had some heat over there. Yeah. But I looked at it like, damn, you know, that's not a bad show if you think in the 90s. He had some good people.
They went on a run because it was their 20th anniversary or 25th anniversary or whatever. So they were out here in LA. Like, there's still some of those tours that you could still catch. Like, you know, So Def had their, Bad Boy had their little thing, and they're doing Nokia and small little spots or whatever. So again, Jermaine is no longer relevant in current music, and that is just the reality for a lot of the older stars. Does Jermaine have a strong legacy? He definitely does. So in my opinion, try to help the culture rather than continuing to shit on the culture. You know, the women, and now, you know, the cats who, you know, get lucky by a beat for 99 cents and, you know, record it, upload it, and next thing you know, they're signed and it's the biggest song in the world, man. That's just like you walking into that mall in Atlanta and telling 2 little boys, hey, do you want to get dressed in weird clothes and be stars? And them happen to say yes. That's how the story was told, so that's why I'm referencing that. It's the same shit. It's just different. It's easier for these kids now. Harder for you, but you're one of the lucky ones. You got paper, so you shouldn't even be tripping.
You ain't fighting for 10% at Tommy Boy, you know what I mean?
Not at all. Real shit, son. Right. So I don't know if they're fighting for their 10%, but congratulations to Griselda Records for signing a management deal with Roc Nation. Don't know how that's going to work with the whole Shady Aftermath situation, but this is definitely a power move for them. You're signed to Aftermath, and now you're managed by Roc Nation. Like, what do you think is going to happen with this time?
It's going to be rough because where's the balance? Because with the management with Roc Nation, do they not have control over the music?
I'm just thinking they're managing them as artists. I mean, with Jay-Z, he's tied in with Live Nation. A lot of the major venues are Live Nation venues. At some point, I'm pretty sure Griselda's tired of coming and doing the observatory every time they come to California. Yeah. They want to do the Nokia. They want to do bigger venues, especially now that they're all about to drop this album. The first release off of Aftermath and Shady is going to be a crew album, which I think is fucking brilliant. Yeah. So that's how they're presenting them, and I'm pretty sure they're going to tour right after that. I'm pretty sure there's some other acts that are Aftermath, Shady acts that are going to be ready to go out on tour too. I could see Royce, maybe the 5'9" on tour with them and shit like that.
But are they going to associate it with Roc Nation, or is Roc Nation going to have it with their artists?
Well, Roc Nation, and that could be it too. Roc Nation could maybe throw some of their people on there, but Roc Nation is managing them, and so Rhapsody signed her deal with Roc Nation a couple of months ago, and now you're seeing the notoriety that she's starting to go ahead and get picking up steam. So I think it is that next move for Griselda, that jump. What do you think, Pooh?
Yeah, I think it's a great move because it puts them in more households, so to speak. I don't think they're marketable as a group as far as just their sound. I don't think they'll like blow up and no shit like that, but I think as far as making more money, having bigger shows, having bigger stars on their ticket and shit like that, I think it's a great move. The thing that kind of stood out to me was the foreign face nigga wasn't in none of the pictures.
Yeah.
Was he on tour or doing some other shit?
I mean, he might be, but Benny and Westside are the two main ones. You know what I mean? Conway is, but so I don't know how the label deal is structured. I don't know if Conway is actually an owner in the label, or if he's just an artist that's signed to him. So, because I've noticed that a lot of those announcements do not include him. Yeah. So I just think maybe he's. I went
to his page though just to see, and he reposted the same pictures, and it's like basically saying it's about to blow up and all. So he's in there.
Yeah.
But maybe he's literally not the face of.
Yeah, I think he's just an artist.
I fucked with him just talking shit.
What if he was
slim? I see what you did there. Yeah, who knows? Maybe he just doesn't want to be on camera. It could be, we never know why those shits go down like that.
Can we speak about the elephant in the room?
What's the elephant in the room?
Is this nigga Jay-Z Satan? Damn. How the fuck do he have his hand in everything?
One, from the industry connections. Now, I'm not gonna say that he's doing some demonic shit.
Yeah, I'm just talking.
I know you're talking shit, but is he one of the industry niggas now? Is he? Yeah, he is the industry nigga now.
It seems like he's the nigga.
He's the nigga, and so in the industry, I'm sorry, fans at home that are not African American. In the industry, there needs to be a nigga, a black man of color. It's always been that way. Whether it was Russell, whether it was Berry Gordy, whether it was Quincy Jones. There had to be that gatekeeper, so to speak. It is evident over the past couple years that Jay-Z is now that nigga. Releases music whenever he wants to, on dates with other artists that, are hoping to do well. No one says shit, you know what I mean? He's able to get artists out of predicaments that he has really no relation to, you know what I mean? No kinship to or whatsoever. So yeah, Jay is that dude. He's coming for him and Roc Nation. They're coming for everything.
It sort of seems like he's so powerful. It damn near seems like if he approaches you go ahead and settle it and you sign up with him, because if you get on Jay's bad side, he get blackball you without blackballing you. If he take away all the people that's tied to him, and then,
right?
It just fucks your whole
It's the ultimate chess move.
Exactly.
He's got Meek. He's got Ninth Wonder. So now everybody who's affiliated with Ninth Wonder is fucking with Roc Nation. Now he's got the Griselda record niggas. You know what I mean? 21 Savage. Little Uzi Vert is Roc Nation. You know what I mean? So he's everywhere. The kid that was just in the Confederate dress. I don't know what the fuck you allowing over there, Jay, but the kid from Chicago in the Confederate dress with the lipstick and shit on. Vic Menzel. You know what I mean?
Do he got anybody out west other than Nipsey? Nipsey's gone.
Nipsey's gone now, but I don't think he has anybody out
that
west.
Probably was well, other than the TDE cast, that probably was the biggest artist that he could have as far as the new generation.
Right. And I'm sure they'll find somebody at some point to diversify it. I don't think he's really doing too much down south or whatnot. But Jay is definitely that dude. And I mean, the concert, and it hasn't come out yet, but you heard about it, where he literally brought out all his old enemies on some Kiss the Ring shit. You know what I mean? Like, here's my concert, the B-sides. I'm going to bring you out, not really paying homage to you. You're coming out smiling and dapping me up. You're paying homage to me. Cam, Nas. And that's the one thing that pisses me off about Nas. I feel that Jay and Nas should be grown men, but not cool. You know what I mean? Like, I really have no beef with you, but we're not buddies. Because they went through that epic war, that battle. Jay cried in the studio the first time he heard Ether. That's facts. You know what I mean? YouTube it. Angie Martinez show. You know what I mean? So that's facts. You hit that man in his heart so bad he went and slept with your baby mother.
Shit, he slept with her before.
And after though as well. Let's get back.
When Nas, when was that, like 07, 08, when Nas signed under Jay-Z with Def Jam?
Exactly.
I don't know. You know, I haven't fact checked this, but I heard with that show you talk about, we brought out Cam and Nas and all them, that you can't even see the footage of that shit, only the little clips that people posted. Is that true?
Only the shit that the people had on their cell phone. So shout out to Choke No Joke, because he's the first one to expose it. But yeah, there is no other footage, and I looked. There is no other footage. Nothing is on Tidal. Eventually it's going to come to Tidal, and I don't have an issue with that. I mean, I understand what Choke was saying. Why would y'all sign up for that? But let's be honest. Cam needs as much publicity as he needs. Plus, this is a hip hop moment. You're gonna want to be a part of that because it's a moment in hip hop, and that's if you really love the culture, if you really love the game, you're not gonna turn that down. Shit, I'll be there. Well, you want me to do, Dipset? Well, yeah, Jim Jones was there. Jim Jones? Owner, in my opinion, or no, Cam has the second hardest Jay-Z diss. Nas is one.
Gotta love it. That shit with Max B on
that,
it.
Yeah, he killed him on that one. Yeah. That whole record, he killed his
What was
ass.
that track with Beanie though? When he said, I forgot the name of that shit.
I could say things that would have B looking at you different or whatever. Where he's like, yeah, I'm a grown ass man. I don't sit on Santa's lap.
Yeah.
That
come down the chimney and hit him with the Mac.
Man, that might be. You know what? That might be too. That because he killed Jay on that one, and that was all facts. Because Jay had nothing to say after that. Yeah. You know what? Pooh, yeah, that's got to be two. Cam came with the funnies. But Beanie came with some shit that Jay was like, fuck. Just that I always go back to that part of the song where he's he bounced a tennis ball around the room like he was deciding whether or not to let me go get some bread with 50 to feed my family, to help me out coming fresh out of jail. And you sat there and made all these excuses of why you didn't want to let me go, then came back and ultimately didn't let me go. And then came back and didn't even do nothing with him. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the shit that when we talk about Jay as a person, as a business person, I can't fuck with him on that level.
Sucker shit.
Because how he did X, how he did Beans, hopefully young Chris, shout out to Choke again, hopefully young Chris works up the nerves to tell his story. We were saying this way before we knew what the fuck a Choke No Joke was, no disrespect. But we were like, man, why he rapping like the Young Guns now? Mm-hmm. Why he rapping like Freeway now? Why he rapping like Beanie Siegel now?
It reminded me when Ice Cube started rapping like fucking Short Chop.
Like Short Chop. You know what I mean? We said this decades ago.
Yeah.
And now, a dude that was right in the middle of it is pretty much confirmed 95% of the shit that we thought. again, doesn't change his legacy. He's definitely one of the greatest ever to do it, you know. But just something else to think about, you know, when we touch on that. So, perfect segue to this list that was put up by the Brew Podcast. So, we were going to try to hit you with our 25 or 50, but we decided we need to make some criteria, and we really need to do this right because we care about hip-hop. We just didn't want to come up and just throw a list out there. So, shout out to the Brew Podcast because this generated a whole bunch of other bullshit-ass lists. They definitely did what they needed to do, and salute to them for this. Now, so what we're going to do is we're going to go off their 50, and we're going to start at 50, and we're going to just talk about this. We don't want to, you know, just your honest thoughts. And if you could give a reason why you feel that each of these artists is where they're at. So number 50, Lloyd Banks. Pooh.
See, there's different categories. I kind of look at Lloyd as like a spitter. Maybe not the greatest artist. I think he can rap. If you made a list of the top 50 spitters, he's probably on there.
Really?
I think so.
All time.
Like he's a. Well, I mean, if you
I want to see you smile.
That's a song. That's a song.
But I'm surprised you don't like him because you rap like Lloyd Banks.
Yeah, you a bar guy.
You're a punchline rapper.
Yeah,
he's a punchline guy.
Yeah.
So if it was a top 50 punchline rappers, most definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so if you categorize it to top 50 punchline rappers, I'll go with you. If you go with 50 best spitters, he's not. But punchline rappers who have that specific, you know, I'm gonna hit you with this bar at the very end. He's up there. Simon, what do you think about him? 50 all time?
Not all time. I mean, again, you got to categorize all this shit. You know what I mean? And is he well rounded to be
all time?
All time with that top 50? And nah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't put him there.
Yeah, I think that's disrespectful to some cats we'll talk about later who are not on this list. That Lloyd Banks is 50. In my opinion, if we're talking about all time, I don't know if he's 200. And that's at all time. We're talking about the best ever to do it. Again, specifics, which hip hop has a lot of different subgenres. In the right subgenre, he might be top 10. Yeah. But when we talk about ever to do all it, time. Nah, they missed on that one. 49, Busta Rhymes.
Definitely top. Well, yeah, he's definitely top 50. Yes.
Easy.
I agree he's top 50. He's hard to place, though, exactly where in the top 50 because he had that very strong run. Longevity-wise, he's been around making quality, but nothing ever hit like it hit when he was on that, you know, extinction level event, when he was on that run of music, Genesis, all that type of stuff. You know, the earlier videos, like he brought a lot to the culture. So I think that elevates him as well. So I don't know, 49 seems a little low.
Yeah, it seems low.
But I don't know how high I'd go.
Yeah.
I really don't. 50 Cent at 48.
I think, well, see, that's just a regular podcast, right? They're not tied to the industry.
From what I understand, no. They're not tied to the industry.
48 for 50?
48 for 50.
Without even going too deep into the shit, no, when you got MCs, well, I don't know if you want to call it 50 an MC. When you got rappers that come into the game and totally change the game, he has to be in the top 20, I would guess.
Yeah. As much as I don't like 50, the troll, I'm not going to disrespect his legacy. At the very least, he's in the top 25. Yeah. He did way too much, and to be 48.
Just shoot out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah. Just take over.
Boom. You know, he's like the fucking atom bomb and shit in Japan.
Right, but the mixtape work he put in too, that's another part of this game. That's another part of his legacy. You know what I mean?
He changed the game with the mixtape.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He was recreating niggas' music and all type of shit.
He did so much that you got to put him in that 20 to 25 range, you know. Rick Ross at 47.
I like Ross. I like some of the shit that he does. I think, right, like we said it before, right now, I think he picks the best production of anybody in the game. But with basically 40 years of motherfuckers rapping, I don't know.
That's tough.
It's tough.
He's on the fence.
Yeah, he's on the fence.
I think he's on the fence too. He makes.
We
really
would have. You know what? I'll give him this. We'd have to fucking make a list to go ahead and verify. You know what I mean? That somebody was better. So I would say he's definitely on the fence.
So again, we're going to talk some names who are left out. I think these people are better than Rick
possibly,
Ross.
Yeah.
So I think he's on the fence. My biggest issue again is the fraudulent person that he is or was or whatnot. I think you have to take that into consideration when we're talking about the best to ever do it. But body work wise, he makes really good music, and there was a run where he was at the top of the game, you know, and so you have to again give credit in regards to that. Ladies love Cool James at 46.
Of course.
46.
There gotta be some youngsters who made this list. Gotta be. I mean, because they forget the impact. Like LL made it cool to make music about women. He's the first one, if I can remember right. I Need Love.
Right. I Need Love. Right.
Major. Like
to this day.
Like
he was a teenager at that time.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that honestly is gonna be I mean, that's probably gonna go down as one of the greatest hip hop or just songs. You could put that on now dedicate that to the girl for the first time. You know what I mean? Like those moment songs, like whatever age we were when we first heard that, and maybe put that on the tape to give it to somebody or played it over the phone or whatever. Now those 30 years later, there's gonna be someone that same age doing the same thing for whatever the new whatever form of social media or phone that they're using. That's some serious shit.
This may sound like a reach, but I really don't think it is. I think the I'm Bad album was the Illmatic of its time.
Yeah, that changed. I mean, shit, I could tell you that I remember the summer that came out, I went to fucking hoop camp in fucking Santa Barbara. Went to this Norm Nixon or Byron Scott fucking hoop camp. Hated it because there's nothing but Laker fans and shit. The one thing that saved me was that I had my fucking tape deck with fucking the Bad album, and it was, both killed that the whole time I was up there, man. So, yeah, 40. What I say? 6.
See, that's the thing about the 80s. It kind of seemed like when we talk about the dopest shit of all time, we kind of cut it off early 90s.
Yeah.
But there was some impactful shit in the 80s.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That shit was impactful.
And that's one of them. And then let's not talk about what was the shit he did with the sitcom?
Oh, In the House?
In the House.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So again, pioneer. Did a lot. So I definitely think that's mad disrespectful.
That's disrespectful.
And then when you say the next name after, The Game at 45. The Game at 45.
See, The Game.
Now, would you say he's one of these subgenre dudes? That we can't talk all-time great at this point? We got to define him by subgenre?
I would put him, just see off the top of my head, I would say he's not top 50. But I would kind of put him in the same boat as Rick Ross. The only thing that I think The Game has on Rick Ross is, before The Game hooked up with Shady Aftermath, the West Coast was pretty much dead. He kind of revived the West. I mean, even though we may not have liked his music like that, but we were dead over here. Like, mainstream wise, who the fuck did we have?
No, we didn't have anything. I agree. I don't know if, I agree with you. I don't know if that gets him in the top 50 though. Sime?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think he's top 50 though.
Big Pun, 44.
Yeah. Not that low.
I mean, do you think Pun's top 50? Easy? Okay. The 2 albums, or really the 1 album, I don't count the Yeah Baby album or whatever, because I doubt he had his hands on that. But, so, is a 2 album a handicap, especially when both of them weren't classics?
Looking at this criteria, Big Pun not top 50. And I like him as an MC.
Right.
He's not top 50.
So he's no disrespect, but he's a subgenre cat, one of the spitters.
I don't think he made an impact being the first Latin to go platinum.
Yeah.
And I loved his first album, but I'm pretty sure there's some cats that we will leave off the top 50 who's done more. Unfortunately, he passed. I think if he would have lived, then yeah. But I can't put him top 50 off one album.
Just because of his body. And I think I love Pun. I think he's one of the dopest ever to do it, but I think you have to subgenre him as well and put him in like a spitter or, an MC category when we're talking about.
But he was balanced though.
I know he was, but he was, but we're basing it off one record song.
Like them cats, they can get on anything. They can be on some street shit, some fucking commercial shit, and fucking kill it. And that's why. I mean, cats might have different or more catalogs or more albums. You know what I mean? As far as more of a base, but Pun. I mean, shit. Unfortunately, they got took away too soon.
Of course.
But the way that they fucking hit the game, you know what I mean? Like
It's
cats might not hit that shit.
It's definitely
in a 30-year career.
Well, no one has, if I'm not mistaken, no one has went platinum as a Latino since Pun. Maybe Pitbull did it, but he's more on some pop shit, right?
I think what's name man went platinum
as a rapper
when he crossed over. Nori.
Okay, maybe Nori did.
When he did when he brought the reggaeton to the mainstream.
Okay.
A single, but not a fucking album.
So with Pun, I mean, I just think 50 ever to do it with that 2 records. You mentioned Big. Big has 2 classics, so that's different. And he had 2 genre-changing classics, like Ready to Die changed New York hip hop at that time. Then he came back and changed it again with the Sky's the Limit and all that other shit he was doing. You know what I mean? So that's a little different from Pun's impact with Pun's 2. I love Pun, but again,
how many hit singles did Pun have?
Man, honestly, that whole first album was shit.
It was a fire ass album. I'm saying like mainstream wise. Was it just that one song?
No, he had Don't Want to Be a Player No More. Well, he technically had 2. He had the original and the remix on there. They both did well. He had Punish Me, but with Miss Jones was on there.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
He had what was the one song? It was a upbeat song. I forget the name of it. It's gonna kill me. But he at least had 4 off there. See, you know what I mean?
I didn't think about it the way you said it. Like personally, he's a spitter.
Of course,
but if we got to do like impact and all that type of shit,
yeah,
I would think Rick Ross is more impactful than Pun, just because of like how many. We could probably list 20 fucking hits from Rick.
Right, it was a long, so and again,
that's why I told you this list shit is so fucking hard.
It is, and so that's why we're trying to be objective as possible, especially with not knowing how the Brew put it together.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't have a problem subgenre in cats. It's not a disrespectful thing. It's just at the end of the day, do you have the criteria?
Yeah.
Yes, you are dope. Pun's one of the dopest ever to do it. I'll put Pun up against a lot of cats. He's gonna murder them. But at the end, when we're talking about body of work and everything that comes into it, unfortunately, he just doesn't have that. And I know people will be like, fuck, Pun, you guys are... Listen to what we're saying. Pun's one of the illest to do it. But body of work-wise, impact to the game that was sustained, he didn't have a chance to do that. So I think it's not fair to those who remained here and were able to put in the work to mention that. So it's probably controversial, but it is what it is. 43, 8 Ball.
Let's go to 42, man. Come on, man. 42.
No disrespect, but that's on the list. 43.
Hey, look, I fucked with 8 Ball.
Yes.
But it's crazy. I've never heard 8 Ball like without MJG.
Right.
You know what I mean, just you individualize. You pick 8 like for real.
I don't. And MJG, I don't think is on
He's
the
not
list.
on there.
No.
Look, 8 Ball. That's like Devin.
Yeah.
Who is dope.
Yeah.
But
again, when we're talking about the greatest ever to do it, makes no sense. So this is where it gets a little nonsensical. Stack Bundles at 42.
All right, next.
No, rest in peace.
Hey, look, and I know why they did it, because he could rap.
Yeah.
See, and that's why the list is unbalanced. Like if you put like, okay, we got Lloyd Banks, Stack Bundles, Big Pun, all of these rapper type niggas, then I understand it because he can rap. But all time,
if it's a rapidy list, I understand these selections.
Does he have a LP?
No.
Come on, get the fuck out of here.
And again, rest in peace. Mace at 41. So let's just pause this real quick. So Mace over Pun, LL, Rick Ross, 50, Busta Rhymes.
Even the game.
Even the game, yeah. So Mace.
Yeah, you got
out of here on that.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I still got fucking Harlem World.
I liked Harlem World.
I got it.
No bullshit.
Jealous Girl, still one of my favorite songs. Played it for my son. First time, yeah. But nah, man, sorry. 40 AZ. No. AZ's nice. I'm going to put him in a category with spitters as well.
Yeah.
39, Ice Cube.
That's disrespectful.
I think it's disrespectful.
very
I think Ice Cube's probably top 20. Can maybe argue top 10.
Like, Ice Cube and LL will go in like the hip hop dictionary.
Yes.
You know what I mean, there's a different level.
Yeah.
Like, that's hip hop royalty.
Yeah, they're Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
Jersey's already in the rafters. I feel you. 38 Killer Mike.
No.
Okay. 37 Lil Wayne. Let me ask you this. Should we consider those who have ghostwriters?
No.
My thought is I don't recognize you.
We're supposed to be purists on this show, so no.
I don't recognize. So you're not top 50. I know people.
Hey, no special ed top 50s.
Yeah, I know people are gonna freak the fuck out, but they're oh man, what Gilly said was he took the style. He didn't bite any lyrics or whatever. But look, we know that Jay Mills wrote for him. We know that the little Peter Guns kid wrote for him. Corey. There's reference tracks online of Drake rapping some of the blood lyrics from shit that was on Wayne's mixtapes and everything. So sorry, Wayne heads, we don't respect anybody who's using ghostwriters on this side. So I can't kid, his writers are top 50, but
I couldn't even argue that one because if we weren't considering that, then I would think so. But since that, he's automatically out.
He's out of it.
He's disqualified.
Bun B at 36.
I put Bun B in that same like 8 Ball. I know he's better than 8 Ball, but I'm just saying, like,
I'm still tripping off 8 Ball.
Like, Bun B, and I don't know if I said it on this show before. I've never heard him kick a whack verse.
Nope.
Ever. But we got these criteria about impact and all this and that, and I'm gonna say no.
Right. I think. And we'll get into this a little later, but there's certain people who can stand out from their group.
Yeah. And
not that Bun B didn't, but he didn't really outshine Pimp C. So you put those two together, much like an 8 Ball and MJG. They got to go together, in my opinion. So some of these guys who were in groups, it's kind of hard. 35 Cameron.
We grading on a tough scale right now.
We are.
If I had to, well,
they said the greatest ever, the 50 greatest ever.
Cam.
Catalog is cool.
No.
Yeah, I agree as well.
I like Cam, but no.
The most wild shit to me on this whole list. Well, there's a couple, but this is wild. This is blatantly disrespectful to hip hop. Jeezy at 33.
See what it is motherfuckers is making like the impact of the South,
right?
And like that's another sub genre cat right there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So no.
But you can argue T.I. had a bigger impact. Maybe Gucci Man after had a bigger impact. So if you look at Jeezy, in my opinion, was that first little test dummy for Jay to see how he could give his stimulus package to people. Because that's how I came across Jeezy. Jeezy wasn't that dope when he was in that band with Puff. People forget that. Was it what was it called? USDA or what was it?
He dropped a solo at the same time as the group album. He was on there with I forgot them niggas' name, and they replaced Jeezy with Gorilla Zoe.
Right.
I forgot their name.
It wasn't USDA, was it?
No, that was his own shit.
Yeah.
I forgot the name. They had like one album.
Yeah.
I forgot.
It wasn't. Yeah. And there was bits
with Jody Breeze.
Yeah. And there was bits somebody's like name. Like the name was very similar to another known group.
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood. There you go. Yeah. Fuck. Get out of here. 32. Big Boy. Top 50 ever. That's an interesting one because he certainly has a catalog. He's no slouch on the mic.
People
has hits.
For this. I look at him like you just said, like with Bun B.
Yeah.
And I know we ain't got there yet. I put 3 Stacks in that category too, and I know y'all 3 Stack lovers.
Yeah,
but has he done anything on his own? Has he stood alone?
Right,
no.
and we're definitely gonna get to that because I think my sentiments have changed once I had to really look at the list and sit back and say we're talking about the greatest ever. So there's one argument I'm gonna make.
Oh, we'll wait.
No, he's super dope. He's one, but again, spitter. Yeah. What are we talking about?
Yeah. We're gonna live. This shit gonna be down to fucking 20 people in a minute. But you know what? That's what it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. I think that when you talk about 50, 60, like
you
that's
make the hard cuts.
Yeah, you got to make the hard cuts because we're talking about the elite, the best ever to do it. So 31, Cool G Rap.
Yes.
31.
One of the greatest spitters to do it.
Right.
But
when you start factoring all the other things, it's not there, right?
Not there.
I don't know, because the influence of the style.
Yeah.
That's how all these motherfuckers rhyme. It's about like Fuji.
I don't mind having him, and people are going to say this is disrespectful in the bottom 5. 45 to 50.
Okay,
I think he deserves to be there off what he has done, who he is.
It's kind of like once you get everybody who made the cut, then you kind of put him in.
Then you kind of put.
So yeah. Okay.
Like, for instance, and this again can come off wild, disrespectful, but it's not. It's truth. Like, you know how, okay, we're going to pick the All-Stars, then we got Dirk, and then we got D-Wade, they're retiring. You know, when they pick those lists, like when they dropped the NBA Top 50, and they still had George Mikan in it. Like, come on, man. George Mikan ain't competing nowadays.
If you want to give him that honorary seat, fuck it. Throw Pun on there.
Okay.
When you reshuffle the deck,
yeah,
see where you fall.
Yeah, definitely. So 45 through 50, I think that's very fair. Probably save us some hate mail too. Most Def at 30. I know that you are not with this at all.
No, see, look, I think Most Def is dope.
Yes.
I'm one of them weird niggas where it's just certain people I can't listen to 15 tracks in a row.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He's a feature cat. Like, he comes on somebody else's song and kicks his smiley shit.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I can see him smiling when I say his fucking name.
Yeah.
But
30.
But look, you know
30.
I can't put me personally. Yeah. I can't put Most Def above like Pun in there.
Yeah, I can't. And I like Most. Black on Both Sides is one of my favorite albums ever. Big Most fan, but top 30 ever. No. Nah, sorry, Most.
Oh, so we going by. We're beyond the 50. We going where they placed it.
Oh yeah, we going right where they placed it. We going. This is their list, so we going by number. This is where the Brew Podcast said they had everybody ranked.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Did you already like mentally take notes of who's not there, or did you write some people down that's not there?
I just wrote a couple names down, okay, so we'll get to it. So at the end, we'll say who. I have 2 names. 29, Prodigy. Now, this is a tough one for me because, yes, he's in a group, but his solo work was banging. I think he established himself as a solo artist. I think of Queens, and honestly, I think of 2 people. Again, no disrespect to G-Rap, but I think of Nas and I think of Prodigy.
Yeah. Queensbridge, all day, Nas and Prodigy. Yeah.
So, in my opinion, he's, and this is going to be controversial, he might be top 20 in my opinion. Yeah. In my opinion.
Look, not to cut you off. Prodigy's death made the same impact on me as Nipsey on everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shit. Real shit for me. Like that one stung. I had to reach out like, man, did you hear? You know what I mean? Like for real.
Yeah, to me, he was dope and was only getting doper, and I liked older P. Yeah. You know what I mean? Especially him dropping jewels and the way they was dropping jewels.
And he could pick beats.
And he had one of the best years ever. So in my opinion, I know people are gonna be tripping. Columbo Black, if you're listening, I know you can't stand Prodigy, but in my opinion, top 20. 28, Eminem. Mad disrespectful.
Eminem. See, a lot of people have Eminem as like the top 5 spitter of all time. You want to make impact. I mean, to save the drawn out argument, throw him in the pile with Pun in him and reshuffle the deck and figure his.
Really? So you don't think he's top 50 ever, M?
No, he's top 50.
Okay.
But they got him at where?
28. You don't think he's that high?
I actually like Eminem from like 02 back.
Right.
After that,
once he started putting his bums on people's lips, you was done.
Like, this is gonna sound crazy as fuck, and no disrespect to the fan base, but when Eminem turned white and emotional, I didn't fuck with him no more.
Yeah, you just didn't connect with him. Yeah. I've known you damn near, I don't know, 25, 30 years. I've never heard you ever play an Eminem song. And you are extreme hip-hop head. So I have to include Eminem in my top 50 because of just when we're talking about the greatest ever to do it, his impact, his ability. I don't connect with his music, but I would put him definitely in the top maybe 15.
Yeah. You know, it's even like today's day and age, when there's some type of gimmick cipher, he still stands out amongst his people.
He does. So I got to put him top 15. I don't have him at the top in the top 5. I just don't. I just can't do it just based off me not connecting with his music and the corny shit that he did that others hadn't. So, Method Man at 27. I don't think Meth is. I like Meth, but I don't think Meth is at 27.
Yeah, since we're going by the number that no, he's not 27.
Yeah. Twista at 26.
I like Twista, but no.
Okay. Raekwon 25. Not that high? No.
I think I could probably find 25 people better than Raekwon.
Okay. T.I. at 24.
Wait, that tiny motherfucker shit.
T.I.,
King of the South.
King of the South, impactful, all that, but we getting up to the upper echelon.
Right. Okay. Drake 23.
He's eliminated. Ghost Riders.
Yeah, Ghost Riders. DMX 20 Deuce. 20 Deuce. I think that's disrespectful for X. Yeah. Based off impact, quality of albums. Again, someone who came and changed the game. Movies and shit like that. Like, X got to be another top 15er.
You know what? It's crazy with X. I think maybe third album and on, I didn't even listen to the shit no more. But the first two were so impactful, and they dropped in the same fucking year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That says a whole lot.
Yeah.
Other than 50, I think X came out with the quickest explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
other
definitely.
Than 50.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
I'll give X his props.
21 is Royce. Royce to 5'9".
No.
I think that's way too high.
Yeah.
Spitter.
This is sub.
Book of Ryan is dope.
Yeah.
But I need to hear a little bit more. J. Cole at 19. I think that's way too soon.
Yeah.
Dope. I like him, as we know. Great artist. Maybe there's a debate in the lower 50, that last 5 or whatever. Maybe there's a debate with some of these younger artists, but I think that's just too.
He can rise up higher.
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
definitely. But that's just too high. Common at 18. Is that fair, or should Common be in the top 15? Discography. He raps his ass off, as we know. He has hit records.
Well, he was my favorite rapper.
Yeah. I think
I agree with you.
I think he's arguably top 15.
Yeah.
When we look at everything. All right, 3 Stacks at 17. And this is where it gets a little crazy, because I like Outkast. Fuck with 3 Stacks. He's dope. One of my favorite rappers ever, but cannot 17. But cannot be in this top 50 because we've gotten no solo projects from him.
He had that one, but it wasn't hip hop.
Right.
When they did the speaker
box,
yeah. Man.
So I can't rock with that.
Man. Only because of that.
Yeah.
But man.
Spitters.
Style. Yeah. Man. He's killing a couple subgenres.
Picking music artists, man.
Scarface 16.
I'll give it the Face. Yeah. I'll give it the Face.
Definitely. Think again even higher.
Yeah.
Tupac at 15.
I think that's disrespectful.
Very.
Yeah. We don't even got to argue Pac. We just know. Okay.
Redman at 14.
God damn, for real?
Well, so let's think about that. I think the first 3 albums, bangers, right? I'm not wrong in saying that. I think definitely 1 or 2 of those are classics. Maybe all 3, depending on if you were that Red fan or not. Had impacts. I don't know if the longevity thing keeps him in the top. But again, another one of those dudes that if I was going to have a 10 spitter tournament, Red might be one of those invites against some of the elite.
Without thinking too deep, I would say, just to say it and maybe it gets shuffled later, I'll put him in top 25.
Top 25? Okay. Pusha T at 13. I think that's way too high. Yeah, and I like Push.
They need to push him out.
Yeah.
I like Push, and I'm real finicky with Meth because I think he's a better feature rapper too. I can listen to a whole lot, but I think Method Man is doper than Pusha T.
Yeah.
And I think Raekwon. Well, I like Raekwon. I know I'm getting sidetracked. I like him on the projects, and I like only Built for Cuban Links. But other than that, what other Raekwon shit impacted?
Yeah.
You You know what I mean? Like real shit.
No, nothing really.
Like a mobilarity?
Yeah.
Name me a track of a mobilarity.
I can't. I didn't. I was like, yeah, I'm good, Ray. You gonna give me some shit I can't pronounce? I was like, how am I gonna get that at Sam Goody, my nigga? Yeah, let me get that a mobilare, a mobili, a manual mulade. Like, I can't pronounce that. Get the fuck out of here, Ray.
All right, go ahead.
Beanie at 11.
I think that's a little high.
I think he's in the top 50, but not
okay. Yeah. I would say for me personally, he's my top 25. I like Beanie. Kendrick at 10. Now, is Kendrick the one dude that the one young dude, legitimately right now, that we have to include in the top 50?
Top 50? Yeah.
Pulitzer.
You do.
Yeah. You do. And I think he only veered because he became such a star that they had to make him more marketable.
Right.
Just off skill alone.
Yeah. He's still killing cats.
Yeah.
I think 10 is too high. I would definitely put him in the top 20, though.
Yeah.
Top 20, just in his young career. I definitely can get into that 10.
So, how many cats have we said in the top 10 yet? Or we just kind of, we haven't even said that.
We haven't even really said top 10 yet. We haven't. Ghostface at 9. I know the room loves Ghostface. Ghostface is our guy.
Ghostface,
9, nah. Sorry, Ghost.
Mid-20s.
Yeah, I put him over there.
Yeah. Big at 8.
Look, he don't have a lot of longevity either, but just off. I don't know if I could say 7 niggas better than Big.
In my opinion, he has to be in the top 5 conversation.
Yeah.
Easy.
Not 1, not 2, maybe 3, depending on what you're talking about, but definitely 4 or 5. You have to have that conversation.
It's crazy because I've always said it's on record that I thought Pun was doper than Big.
Yeah.
But impact wise and just overall, no,
Big was that total package. R.I.P.
Yeah, that shit locked.
Jadakiss at 7. Room loves Jadakiss, but yeah.
Styles P don't even think that Jadakiss 7.
I put him in that, like, there's a nice second tier bubble cat.
Exactly.
You know
yeah, he's definitely that second tier. Fabulous at 6. F.O.B. No.
He's another one.
Shout out to Emily for going ahead and not put him at number 6 and shit. His baby mama.
Punchline cat. Look,
his punchlines are crazy.
I wouldn't have even thought Fabulous would have been relevant this long.
Right.
I guess when his rollout was just what it was.
So here's an argument for Fab. How many hit records does Fab have? Got a grip of them.
He got a lot.
He's brought fashion and different shit to the culture, oversized jerseys and shit. So Fab has his imprint there.
But in that top,
you reach.
No, but that's the argument. I'm not saying I agree. He's not 50 to me.
That's not an argument. No.
Black Thought 5. Ever.
I know that's your boy.
I'm a big Black Thought, but based off the criteria, you've given us a couple mixtapes. Roots albums. We're not talking about a group. We're talking about the greatest ever to do it. You are probably, in my opinion, the number 1 spitter. But I don't know about top 5. I might put him. I'm gonna put him.
I put him 10 to 15.
I put him 10 to 15, just based off until we get. He give us 2 albums that are fire. I have no problem having that conversation. Him in the top 5, but we don't have any work to prove that other than these projects. Styles P at 4.
He's in that second tier with Kissing.
Yeah, agreed. Joe Budden at 3.
That's another spitter.
Yeah.
No.
And I understand Budden has content. Now he's doing this podcast and shit. He was on the forefront of the internet shit, doing all that kind of stuff, live streaming. But no. And then finally, we have Nas 2 and J 1. So we no need to really discuss those two.
They both top 5.
Right. So here's the names that we didn't get. No 40. I definitely say 40 is top 50. Easy. Yeah. Big Daddy Kane, in my opinion, is top 50. Easy. Yeah. No Ladies. No Latifah, who in my opinion is top 50 easy. 2 Grammys. The biggest woman artist in her heyday. In what's the shit? The shit that was on Fox 11.
Living Single.
Flavor Unit Productions, you know what I mean? Set It Off, movies like.
Yeah, he's an icon.
Icon. You got to have Latifah in your top 50. What are some other names that we did not say off the top? Luda wasn't mentioned. Yeah. You gotta put Luda in your top 50.
I'm gonna tell you somebody who's
Nelly.
But if the criteria,
when you talk about impact, you
the only thing we can
threw punting him out the fucking boat because of the impact, but Nelly impacted.
Right? No, we said Pun was getting that bottom after we said honorable mention.
I mean, you got Pun at Bikini Bottom, but y'all switching the script with fucking Nelly and shit.
Well, no, what is I think
we talk about impact.
Right, Nelly's impact was great,
how skillful was he though? With that impact?
And wasn't Murphy Lee and them niggas writing those rhymes?
I really don't know.
So again, Nelly definitely.
You ducked out of that one, motherfucker.
No, well, I'm not ducking them out. We run from nothing. This is an honest conversation about hip hop.
I think they were writing for him.
If he wrote his own raps, then I would have to put him in the top 50 because of his impact. Mr. TRL, one of the biggest artists in his heyday. You know what I mean? Apple Bottom Jeans. That shit is, still being used in movies. You know what I mean? So no Nelly, no opportunity for Lil Nas X.
Getting hot in here and all that type of
shit. The major hit. So you have to put him in the top 50.
Y'all rock with Nelly?
No. Tip Drill was the only shit that was fire.
No, I didn't fuck with Nelly.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard that Anle, he was dead.
I remember we were in Fresno. Remember that damn? We were in Fresno when that shit was super hot, and we were like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" We were driving down to Fresno. Yeah. First time heard that shit. Like, new Nelly, Anle, mommy, like what the fuck? Speedy Gonzalez, get out of here.
Then that nigga said some shit. I like bitches with cornrows and
manicured toes. Yeah.
I thought toes was pedicure.
Yeah, well, hey, he's a country guy. Yeah. Shout out to the Lou. What other names are we missing here, gentlemen?
I'm gonna tell you somebody who's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
He gets left off every list. Nobody even brings up his fucking name. All-time great. Guru.
Yeah.
Now, and that's my other person not on this list who should be on this list, even though he was a part of the group, was Chuck D.
Yeah, nobody ever mentions Chuck.
Chuck has to be on your top 50, maybe top 25 based off impact, who he was at that time, what he stood for.
So when you think Public Enemy, it was him and Flav, but Flav was kind of like
the hype man.
Yeah, that was Chuck.
You remember Chuck's lyrics. Chuck's lyrics were powerful. His tone was powerful, and so Chuck's not on this list. Did we say Slick Rick?
Nope.
Slick Rick is nowhere on this list.
Youngsters that wrote this fucking list.
I didn't even see what's his name, and we've been talking about him recently. Where's Snoop?
Snoop was 34, which is disrespectful.
But you know what? Ghostwriter.
Yeah.
We don't even really want to say that about Snoop.
Right. But yeah.
Damn, what about Cube?
That's what they're saying. So that's, it's crazy because, as a purist, if we do a purist list, then a lot of these names aren't going to be here. They're going to replace with names like, cannabis and, no, real talk. We're just talking about dudes that spit. If we go to the spitter list.
I know some major spitters who will fuck 90% of this list off.
Right. Where's Sean Price at? You know what I mean? Like,
where's Razcast?
Yeah, where's Raz at? Chino XL. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different spitters, and that's why you have to separate these lists. If you're going to talk about the greatest to ever do it, you got to break it down into what the genres are, what the qualifications are. That's where you can talk about the Drakes. That's when you can talk. Somebody put fucking Nicki Minaj on one of these fucking lists earlier. No disrespect to the ladies, but come on now. You know what I mean? Now, that's when we can start having that conversation of how many units you sold, and the Nellies and all those people are going to run that. But when it's just getting down to talking about the nitty gritty, the cats that can spit, that is a hard list to go ahead and compile. Because then we're talking about the Thoughts, the Pharoah Monches. Are you putting Locksmith up there? Are you going to put Daylight up there? You know what I mean?
Face.
Perfect segue, Simon Kapone. He said he smashed 1,000 females from January to yesterday's date. 1,000.
I don't think he has enough time to do that. Do I think it's possible? Yes.
It's possible.
But I don't know if he can do that many. That's just, it hasn't even been 1,000 days yet.
You'd have to be basically just
1,000 days is what almost 3 years.
Well, that's what he's saying. Yeah, he said 1,000 women in 6 months, according to him. So that's a lot of. That's a lot of smashing.
Man, I put it to you like this.
170.
I'm no fucking celebrity. I done fucked some good looking bitches in my time, and I'm gonna be real with you. Sometimes I don't give a fuck how bad the bitch is. I don't want to fuck her more than like once or twice in the day. Sometimes I don't like. I could be asleep and the bitch wake me up giving me head. Like I'm kind of like, oh shit, I gotta do it again.
I gotta do it again. Don't make me.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that's real stuff. There's been times where it's like, yeah, I'm cool. Like, yeah. Can we just watch Chopped and go to sleep? You know, I feel you. You know what I mean? Those times happen. But I think with him,
he must have had multiple orgies.
I think he was saying on Big Boy, he had like 3, 4, 5 women at a time. Yeah. So, you know, I guess he's the proper phrase should be he's inserted his penis in 1,000 women. You know, which again, if you're doing quadruple sessions or whatever, yeah, you know, you're doing one of those a week. But it's just crazy. And the rumor is that he's next up. Well, not rumor. I'm hearing that he's actually somebody on the West Coast is really trying to get him out of that deal that he's in right now. I'm hearing that Snoop might be involved, and they're really trying to make him the next star. He's supposedly been working on his rapping. There's a couple videos floating around where he's actually rapping on beat to like little trap records, and supposedly whoever this bigger figure is on the West, I'm assuming it's Snoop, but I heard there was some big names on the West who were trying to get him away from what's my man's name? Wack, who's beefing with YG.
I'm gonna tell you what's funny about that. I seen Wack post that bot video with Tiger, YG, and Blueface, and then I don't know what happened between him and YG, but I seen on YG page YG posted a video just him and Tiger, and then Wack took the Blueface shit off, and then it was like, oh, they'll be asking me for verses and all that. So I don't know if that shit wasn't supposed to come out. I don't know what's the science behind that, but YG put the video out without him.
Right. So the song originally was shot with all of them there. That's when the meme came of Tiger and the blonde hair, and it was, or not the blonde hair, but the permed hair, and they were killing him. So from what I understand and what I've read and what I've heard is that Wack is bullying YG, basically he's calling him a fake blood, saying he used to be a Crip, and has some incriminating
country block, fool.
Yeah, has some incriminating evidence of videos of shit of YG banging some Crip hood.
It's old news on the LA streets though.
But it's so and it's respected. I mean, cats is rocking with him because, I mean, when you transform, that's normally
from
a big
what I've
issue.
Heard, and I seen the picture that he posted when he was with the Gundries. I've always heard that YG ain't from Compton. He's really from Paramount. And I guess during his teenage years, adolescent years, it's a lot of Optimus Prime ass niggas out here. I mean, like
Autobots roll out.
You know, Game. I mean, I guess officially no, but he was a Crip first too. You know, raised in Santana Block. Like he said, he started fucking with his brother because he didn't want to draw a wedge in between them. So he ended up being from Cedar Block. But the telltale sign is a Compton, any nigga from Compton that's listening, no, you cannot be a Pyru and attend Compton High. This nigga went to Compton High all 4 years. If you a blood in Compton, you can bang it out at Dominguez with all them niggas off of Laundry who I was talking about before, and stay low key and try to make it through that shit. Or you can go to Linwood, and go to Paramount, or go to the 10. But if you was into athletics, you didn't want to fuck with Centennial because they just garbage. But a Pyru nigga, you do not go to Compton High. Period. But like he got a fucking he go to Washington State out of high school? Yeah, something like that. You know what I mean? He wasn't pushing that line. He couldn't have been from Cedar Block at Compton High. So I'm just saying. Anyway, yeah, with the YG shit, I heard he was from Paramount. But then again, I guess he ended up getting the pass because once he turned Pyru and niggas didn't know that he was from Gundry Block or was over there, he earned his stripes in the hood. Okay. So it's kind of like
he put in work.
Or I don't know if he actually got bodies, but it's a lot of niggas out here who Jay Reed, like on that movie where they bust their gun. That don't mean they killed somebody, but they actually wasn't scared to shoot.
Yeah.
Earned them enough respect to be from there.
That was active in that manner. That's crazy. So yeah, man, the list. We're gonna have to get our list down at some point. Maybe we'll do top 10 spitters.
I don't even know we reached the top 5.
Well, I mean, so if we want to talk about top 5 just off the greatest ever to do it, I I mean, I would say Jay is 1.
We said Jay, Nas. Who else?
Jay, Nas. All right, so who would be 3? Jay, Nas, greatest ever to do it. KRS-One was not on this list either.
See, that's just...
Missy Elliott's not on this list. Talking about 50 people. I'm not saying she's top 3, but 50 people, you got to include Missy. So let's just try to do a 5 real quick. So we got Jay, we got Nas. Third.
Oh, so you putting Jay as the best ever?
Just
top 5?
Yeah, I'm just top 5. We're going to give those 5 names.
I got 4 just off the top of my head.
All right, so
Jay, Nas, Big, and Pop.
Okay, so that's probably undebatable, yeah. Right? So then who's 5th?
That's hella... Who the fuck can stand up to them?
So, unpopular opinion, Eminem. That's one person. Unpopular opinion, Nelly. Well, we're just saying great. We're saying the greatest to do it as far as when we look at it, everything in totality. You got M, you got Nelly. Give me some other people that have albums, sales, and impact on the game. Jay-Z has done well. Album-wise, impact-wise is unforgettable. Nas has done not as well as Jay, album-wise, but impact, you can see all the babies he has running across hip-hop.
He's in year 26 and just dropping dope shit.
Right, you know what I'm saying? We got Big and Pun, irrefutable. So all these people have sold records, have immense followings, changed the game when they came in at their time. So who is the 5th?
It's close. I mean, like, it could be X, it could be 50. You know what I mean?
So you going X and 50 above M? Let's have an honest conversation.
Or do you think it's...
For my personal liking, yes.
Do you think it would probably be more better if we, instead of just saying the throwing 5 out there, just say top 4, and then we got like 50 and them niggas like rounding out to 10?
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna do a hip hop Mount Rushmore again, I guess talking about the greatest artists ever to do it in all categories, I'm comfortable with Jay, Nas, Big, and Pac.
It's crazy.
In any order.
I think we could probably fill out that top 10 if we wasn't on the purest shit, because it was like just like niggas like Snoop and niggas like that who are impactful, longevity.
Right.
They would go there, but since we do it this way, we just can't do it.
Right, because Snoop is another person. Well, again, we can do that if we're just saying, you know, the greatest ever, and not doing it off purity. You know.
That changed the list.
That changed. Snoop might be 5. M might be 5. You know what I mean?
I don't like the nigga, but I think what's name would end up there. Fucking
Drake. I think when it's all said and done, I don't know if you can put him up there now, as far as 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think he's in the top probably 10.
Yeah.
And I don't even fucking like him. I think a couple of them youngsters, if they stay consistent over the next 10, 15 years, if they can do it, like J. Cole, Kendrick, and them, they have the opportunity to move.
Oh, they do.
The
they do, just because their appeal and the fact that they can reach much more people. It's like they're kind of on steroids right now. You know what I mean? Where, you know, could you imagine if some of these other artists would have had the same machine that, you know, that these younger cats have?
If we want to take off the purity shit in little subcategories, I'm putting 3 Stacks in my top 10.
Yeah. Definitely. If we
might even challenge for that 5th.
If we say just the greatest ever to do it when it comes to rhyming and the music that you brought, not so much longevity, do you have solos? If we just talk about technical skill meets enjoyable music, Andre's up there.
I mean, you think?
I'll tell you, 2 motherfuckers we missing, and we should at least talk about him earlier with Hammer. Where the fuck does he go?
That's true.
Impact?
That's true.
You know?
I mean, based on this list, if we're talking about impact and career and all that,
he's the one that thought that really
might have to put him in the top. Might have to put him in the top 30. Who was the other person?
Not as far as impact, but he's dope as fuck. Is they didn't mention Q-Tip.
That's true.
I'm gonna tell you somebody else. If he's not on the list, it's kind of shocking unless you just skipped it. Where's Kanye?
Not on the list.
Calabasas.
But again, I don't know why. They and it sounds like they like a lot of grimy rappers, so they probably didn't fuck with Kanye. You know what I mean?
I put Kanye above fucking Nelly any day.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you talk about impact and everything like that, regardless how you feel about him, that's someone else that that you need to talk. And he might even creep his way into the top 10 now.
Yeah, because like a lot of these dudes are great, but like then you got superstars.
Yeah,
he's a superstar.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't even pick that. I'm not a Kanye fan, so I didn't even dawn on me that he's on this list. Where's the fuck is Heavy D?
Shit, boy, Heavy D, man.
Where I mean,
as far as
impacts, longevity at the time. Again, another person that was doing a lot outside of the music.
Oh, come on, man! Look.
What, fool?
No,
I can't get a top 50 for him.
No. It ain't got nothing to do with him. What I'm realizing is, like I said, it must be youngsters because that whole pocket of MCs, like the Big Daddy Kane era. Yeah. Where's the R, my nigga?
Yeah, Rakim. No, Rakim was 12.
Did you say his name?
I might have skipped him because I think I went right to Big. Yeah. Rakim on this list was 12, which is kind of low for Rakim. He's got to be top 10. But I disrespect.
You think like in that? Let's just say I'm gonna guess a number. 87 to 91. There's some fucking greats.
Yeah.
Like LL, Rakim, KRS, Chuck D, all them cats, Big Daddy Kane. Man, it's
the cats that laid the foundation for the family tree of all these other MCs to come. Rick. You know what I mean? Yeah, and they're not. All of them are absent on this list, so it's crazy. So it seems like old school to these folks are Busta. Because I think Busta probably has the album. Maybe Red. Oh no, Scarface is probably the person with the earliest release on this list, if I'm not mistaken. Just off looking at this, Lupe Fiasco was 20. Somehow I skipped over him. If we're talking about spitters, Lupe is probably top 10 in my opinion. Spitters, but then Lupe's hard too because Lupe has some really dope early albums. Lupe's got at least 2 classics. The Cool, that first album, I think. All those hit records he had, you know what I mean? But then still was killing cats with the bars. I don't know. Lupe, that's an interesting one. I mean, he's fallen off, but Lupe is one of the illest to do it.
You know who's a favorite who I think is top 50 and he's not national? Sugar Free.
You think Sugar Free's top 50?
Like just my own personal.
Personal? Okay. Yeah, so where do you put Short? Because Short's not on this list either.
He's an icon.
Yeah, and Short's not on this list.
Short
top 50, but he got to be in there.
Short been doing this since 83.
Right. So again, when you say no stack bundles, no disrespect. When you say not Mace, no disrespect. 8 Ball, no disrespect. Like these are Lloyd Banks. These are Killer Mike. These are names that should not be on this list.
Like even Big Boy from Outkast.
Yeah.
You can't go above Too Short.
Yeah, Royce. No. Sorry.
30 years. This shit is 40 fucking years.
Yeah. 40, you know what I mean? There's just names here. Pusha T. 80s, sorry. You can't be on the list. Most. Sorry. You know, there's those, we got to pay respect to our elders, man. The cats that, could probably still smoke any of these MCs now. You know what I mean? Big Daddy Kane still got bars. I just seen a freestyle the other day. Rakim would probably
dropping mics.
Probably hit you with something. So these cats still got it, man. You cannot disrespect them.
It's cats that's not on that list that most people probably wouldn't fuck with. That's like in my favorites, like the Jizza. He's one of my favorites. Like,
just came and killed that Rhapsody joint. You know what I mean? Like so.
He's one of my favorites in the clan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And so again, it's. When we do these lists, you have to be very clear with what it is that you are rating, because the subgenres rule hip hop now, and that's fine. That's fine. We can have the best trap rapper, the best this and that, but rap and rap are not the same.
Yeah.
The people, the Faces, the Reds, the Jays, the Nas's, the Kendricks. These people really rap. Jeezy, and who else was on this list?
Gucci above Jeezy,
right? Those guys. They're not. It's not the same sport. It's completely 2 different things. It's like when you're at the treadmill on 2, that's Jeezy. When you're on the treadmill on 25, that's the upper echelon. That's the black dots. That's the cats that are coming for your head. But shit, man, we're almost 2 hours in, so let's cut this now. We have anything else to discuss before before we go into anything?
It just kind of solidifies what I was saying. It's kind of impossible to do a 50.
Yeah.
The reason why it's impossible because you have to rank them.
Yeah.
It's just impossible for me.
Yeah, you could do 50 Daves.
Yeah.
And not rank anybody, but yeah, this is the problem. And again, there's so much emotion and sentiments attached to the names, people who really love the culture. So when you drop a list like this, you definitely need to define and give clarity. But again, the Brew Podcast did this so that they can get people talking about him. Joe Budden's talked about him. We're talking about him. The internet went nuts.
They went viral.
Yeah, they went viral.
Motherfuckers start creating their own.
And Rosenberg, all these people created their own list. But we will give y'all some sort of list. We'll give it to you coming up. We'll figure it out. But until then, just want to thank you guys for rocking with us. As always, it's been an honest conversation about hip-hop. You know where to find us. Google Play, Spotify, Lisbon. Coming soon to iTunes once again. Simon, you want to peace anybody out before we get out of here?
Oh, man, just everybody that's listening, man, tuning in.
Big Poh?
Oh, no, just shout out to all the people who support and can handle my smart-ass mouth.
Thank you. In the words of Pooh, bitch, get off me. We out. Peace.